Who's everyone? Hey, Rushback. Going good. It's Saturday. First one, yes. No, this rig is for me, Danny. Alright. How's everyone? Wait for a bit before. Is the music too loud? No, yeah, this is like, copy. Oh. They. Oh. From last week, kind of progressed a little bit with this shot. Little. Muffin. I did get some. So today we'll try to finish this and then jump a bit about. My mic is cutting off. It's. How about now? I guess I have to increase my gain. Alright, you know what, let's change the music. This is too... change into something more chill. Xmas music? Yeah, I don't have any non-copyrighted Xmas music, so I can't, but we'll see. How is my day? My day is good. Very relaxing. Some errands. Yeah, just other than chill. The weather is good. It's not snowing too. That's a good. So how's your guys' day? What did you guys do? If you're an animator on the stream, just say hi. Say anything. Hi. I know that they're. But if you're not an animator, welcome. We'll be talking a little bit. I gotta. Yeah, we'll be talking about all this good stuff. Because I kind of progressed with this shot a little bit, not a lot. So we will try to hit the polish notes. So I can talk about a little bit of polish. We'll go from there. And I found a rig called Elsa. It's like a free rig and it's pretty good. Very close to the real one. So I do wanted to test out that with some blinks or stuff, or like posing. We could just pose the character. Yeah. So yeah, there's a link here. It's yeah, and then basically when we started doing this shot, I wanted to take away. I want you guys to take away important notes from this live demo. On the side note, like rest of the video for like me jumping into this, apart from the stream, is on my page, so you guys can follow that there. But today, progress. All right, so the important notes you can take away from the demo shot is simplify complex moves from if it's not reading. We are actually following the 2D reference, right? Last time. Let me play past it. So we were following it. So what I meant by that is sometimes you don't have to follow your reference frame to frame. You can actually simplify things and see, because we are following a 2D reference. 2D has way more, you can it flows better and you can get away with few breakdowns or few things, but 3D is a very rigid model, so you do need a lot more to make it more believable and more organic. So that's what I meant by simplifying the complex moves from the reference if it's not reading. And then blocking, you need to have the head, body, eyebrows roughed out, which we kind of did. We just jumped into the shot and we started like pretty much straight ahead, like putting in poses and working our way out, way up to this thing, and get each section at least 80% phrase by phrase, which is we first started off with the head, but actually like later when I was working off stream, I was mainly focusing on the root because I didn't want it to be like a sticky root and this just pivoting from here. So I did kind of give a little bit of root movement. So that's like the big move, which is kind of imitating the head move. So I moved first head, then neck, then torso, then I added in the head, the arms. So yeah, and then we just took our blink from the last demo and off with that, but we can actually go ahead and today address that and then add in a little bit of finger. And like keep kind of like finishing and go to the polishing stage, and then I'll talk about the polish. Um just remind the acting choice in order to the highest priority phrase in the shot. So yeah, you need to know why the character is doing that action and priority and what is the importance action in that shot. You don't have to just every controller character has. Use just the ones that matters, which is very important because the more you put on the keys everywhere, you're just gonna get yourself overwhelmed with too many keys. So take it easy on that. For example, I will show you here for her elbow. When we see our elbow and the forearm, it only moves our Z. If you move, I lock these actually. You go ahead, like usually I'll try to do this. This is like my workflow where I go in and I lock select all the controllers on the forearm or the elbow, because humanly we don't move RX or RY, open and close RZ move. So that's kind of important because the more you put on keys on RX and on RY, when you're actually clean, you kind of feel like kind of overwhelm yourself with too many keys everywhere, and then you will end up not knowing like what to clean and what to correct. So this one, as humanly, we kind of move around, so you can go and like play with this controller, the controller that's our shoulder, or like the main arm controller. But this I would actually limit to only RZ. Of course, our wrist can do whatever. That's what I meant by using your controller. Just that one's matter. And use the main controller at the beginning, which I think I've very much emphasized, saying that whatever the bigger move, either that's the root or the head, whichever is doing the biggest move, that's your main controller, and you have to put in keys on that because that's gonna drive the rest of the body or rest of the character. I get timing down first, like even if you're just doing the root or the head, if your timing is perfect, like yeah, you're almost like halfway there. Because sometimes it looks very swimmy, too slow, so try to get the timing right and flow through a move. So make sure that everything is flowing in. If there is any jerks or like any kind of like animation that's sucking, then you make sure that everything is head, toe, or from the up torso to toe, whatever the section you're. Don't be perfect with your reference. Sometimes reference you can only follow to a certain level. You can actually push or even kind of like tone down. It's all your creative freedom and end of the day. So yeah, those are the live demo from past days or two weeks you're doing. So I just want to I like to kind of make it point wise so that you guys can look back and you're like, what did I learn from this, or what do I take away from this? So that's more clear. And hey, Mike, is it going? So speaking of Mike, what he did is last time when I did when we started doing the Bell, recreating the Bell 2D animation to 3D, Mike went in and he started to like follow my live demo and he recreated it. So I'm gonna put him on the spot, but like I think I've already took his permission. I'm gonna show what being on your walk cycle. That's good, Mike. I'm good. Hey, hey, Michael. Okay, so this is Mike's shot. He used a totally different rig, and I love his background though. I asked his permission. We're gonna put the same background for like to this shot, and yeah. So, anyways, I'm so proud of him that like at least he went back home after the live demo and he started to try out the shot, which is pretty awesome. So even if it's not perfect, it's okay because he tried, and he in the process he might be like learning a lot more, because looking at someone do is very different from you actually doing it on your own. So yeah, so I'm gonna play this. Shout out to Mike. Hey, I feel like she's just like enjoying so much within herself, like I love it. It's not exactly the same as what we're doing with the 2D, but I think he tried, and I love the way he staged the character, and it's perfect. Like the environment is not too huge. It's like it's kind of complementing the shot, and he framed it in a way that because the character is facing to the screen right, he made sure that there's more space to the screen right, or to her left. So pretty good. And I think he can frame it a little bit more closer so we can the character more clearly. I think I was for a bit on Mark's live stream and he was actually talking about aspect ratio. So that's actually a good one. So probably like you guys have watched that, incorporate that to frame your character way like how you want to convey the story. I emailed you. Yes, but I haven't seen any animation on that email. So if there is something that you want me to see with your animation, send me another email, Rizwan, because I couldn't find any stuff over there. I did read your email though. Hey Spectra, is it wrong to copy person's animation? Get better. It's not wrong. I mean, it's wrong if you put that on your demo reel or to show someone else, but it's not wrong to copy someone's animation. But I wouldn't suggest you to follow it frame by frame though, because no matter how much you copy it frame by frame, there's only certain, like, you can get the shot exactly looking, but there's something that's missing, right? Like the timing that you wanted, um or like there's something that unique to that shot that let's say the A animator did it and you trying to copy that, kind of missing that essence of that. But by any means, to just like get your what do you say, like get practice with what you're doing, I think, yeah, there's nothing wrong in that. Of course you can what do you say, imitate the character, which pretty much we do that in our traditional animation, right? Traditional painting, right? We kind of like try to uh, do paintings of great masters to see how to mix colors, how to draw, how to do, like, how to have a good composition, proportions, stuff like that. So it's similar principles. If in the traditional way, you can even follow it on the 3D, but there's only like 3D is kind of a little limited. So I would actually want you to take that to the next step. After copying, see what you can do on your own to push it further. Like, what would you do to that shoulders, or to like the cheeks, or something that the other animator is. Viewers want, send another email with if you want me to see any other animation stuff for your demo reel, anything. Yeah, we can I can open that demo reel shot and we can give some critic. As I said last time, wanted to read that, like, if anybody wants me to see their demo reel shots, either you're in the beginning stage, either that is like intro to animation to advanced animation, anybody can send me any shots to my email, CG Spectrum email address, which I've given in the last stream. I can actually give again in the end of the stream too. So what I would do is I'll pick one demo reel shot every stream and I will give you guys critique on that. So you can take on that for sure. All right, so let's jump into this. It's almost been 30 minutes, so let's go ahead and we'll talk in a bit regarding the polish. I'm just trying to check things before we jump into that, and I can incorporate that into the shot. Hopefully we have. Go ahead and just like put a little bit of brow. I'm kind of... Basically with my animation, like I just try to like jump in and put like bunch of key. Are you guys doing anything? Are you guys doing any fun shots? Or any VFX people too? You're not an animator, but you're doing some sort of stuff. Oh, what kind of CG stuff? Hey, John. Something's happening with up in in the straight ahead animation, you exactly know if your character is doing something weird moves. You know where things are going wrong. Like, for example, here I felt like it kind of like went up and then down. Like, I didn't want that move. Or that. So that's not happening at the root, so that's happening. I think that's no. Hmm. Um Okay, I'll check it later as well. Eight. Mike, did you work on your shot, Disney's Hawk, furthermore, or just working on the walk side? Okay, so now let's give a little bit of facial. Let's start with the jaw. That's like the biggest move. Since she's not talking, not yet. It's your kind of creative freedom, what you want to do with the mouth. Like, I want her to be like, surprise. And then she smile. So spend most of the time on my walk cycle. I did with Malcolm. It kept crashing. Oh. Did you try with Amy Rig? Because I think she better. Because more, it's like kind of simple. Or I don't know. More simplify. Malcolm is too like lanky and tall. It's kind of weird to do a walk cycle with Malcolm. So yeah, I would actually see if you can do with Amy. I think it should be in the CG Spectrum's folder. First finish with the buster. Oh. Yeah. Alright, you know what? Polishing would be like you just move a little things and then it will take forever and you feel like your shot is going nowhere. So make this stream a little bit more, how do you say? Feel like at least we are kind of moving forward. I will go ahead and put in some finger stuff. So as last time, I think we had these things working. So we'll just give that. So according to the move, kind of going like I want her to close her fingers because she's like kind of like surprised and leaning towards the character. So I will have O's there. And over here, we'll have I wish I have a We put it at the floor. Mm. Good. I like to kind of offset things so it's not looking like just one blob of going in and out. So Daddy, nice to. Thank you. Thanks, Anna. Did we forget to open the... So Maya to 2019. I haven't worked with Maya in a really long time. As I told you guys, I usually work on Motion Builder. So this blue line on the bottom, it's pretty much to like you hitting play blast here. It's like real-time play blast. Or yeah, so that's the reason it's always like buffering and filling this blue line to give us that real-time animation. I'm gonna copy that over here. I don't want it to open up. And it's opening here, so that I'm gonna push further there and over here. Have it a little bit more open. Then I think last time I was talking about finger animation. Have the... I think I closed it. But hands are very like eyes and fingers very gesture based, so focus more on them, get them more appealing. So if you have something like this, go ahead and pose it so that it looks more appealing. Don't want a blob. I would keep it more simple, either use this control or the fingers, but seems like the main control is doing not much, so you have to kind of go back and forth. so -2 is the extreme, right? So you never want to go extreme, so a little bit. And then if you want, you can go ahead and just wait. See how that is. Sean. Hey, how are you, Sean? I think this is my first time seeing you on this. Welcome. Game art. Oh, thank you. Thank you for uploading that, updating that to art. All right. That looking. Orla. Is have you? I think I missed some question. Have you ever worked? Yes, I sometimes have my work checked. Is a perspective viewport? Yes, this is perspective, and I did create camera. And oh, this is your first time catching the stream? Welcome. We do all kinds of animation and art stuff, so hope you enjoy. Are you an animation major or student, or you like animation? How's that looking? There's something happening there. Too fast. So we're gonna push that a little bit, and then right tangent. I just finished my advanced animation September at CGS Spectrum. That's awesome. Congratulations. By the way, Sean, I will be doing a demo reel critic, so if you ever wanted to send your shots, I mean, feel free to. I know some people don't want to show that on the stream, but if you want critic, I am doing that, so feel free to. Because I think basically I have more of like intermediate or like painting animation. Timing of Stuart. Hey Stu. How are you? Timing of the head. So good. Thanks Stu. Shout out to Stu. Stu is actually an animator. He's an advanced animator. Been in the industry for 3 years, I believe. Pretty good. He worked on Last of Us. There is something happening. Don't like how it's. I wanted to have like a clean motion, but Hey Taryn, can I send your 2D animation too? Yes, you can send your 2D animation too. It's pretty similar, but I guess 2D animation you guys you don't have limits. You can push it as further as possible. So it's still the animation principle same to 2D and 3D. So you're more than welcome to send it. You like animation? I'd like animation too. Do you keep CG characters looking on model while animating? Yes, we do have to keep CG characters on model, John, but there are times where you can use, you can actually break the character in order to get some kind of smear frames. So like you know, like the cartoon stuff, like, for example, I'll show you. But mostly you keep it on model, but there are times where this is like very subtle animation, but let's say you're doing some kind of like move and your hand goes into that smear frame and it's not visible to the eye, but like in 2D how we push with our lines, right? So in that way you can actually kind of go off the model to like get that smear frame, but to be honest, like you have to keep it on model while doing 3D characters. So the music. I'm playing in the second one at the moment. Okay, John. Yeah, sounds good. So even if it's 2D, just over 3 years. Yeah. So Stuart is just over 3 years into the industry. And he's very passionate about the anime. I would definitely send my demo reel. Sure, Sean. Yeah, I would love to see more advanced animation. Going. You're welcome, Taryn. That's happening with I don't like the fingers they're doing. Okay, since I think everybody... Could you animate Abby's muscles? Yes. We do animate Abby's muscles. Alright. I'll just jump into this because this is kind of important since we are like kind of finishing and pushing the animation, adding in the fingers and stuff. So I will go ahead and list out the importance of polish. Polish is usually on, let's say your shot is almost like the timing is working, the way you want it, everything is working, and it's looking good. But you want to take your animation from looking good to great. So it's like taking a notch up, making it more like really like polished and really good. So the important thing about polish is don't expect polish to fix your shots, because don't say that you're at the polishing stage and trying to fix your timing or your shot like in order to make it look good, because polishing is only trying to finish and add on to what already you have. So that's basically polish. So anytime you say you're polishing a shot, you have to make sure that everything is like nailed down, like everything is working. Types of polish are physical polish and emotional polish. And physical polish are environments reacting because of your character, making all. So, for example, if a character is trying to like is so agitated and pushing away all the things on the table, so when you're like kind of pushing things on the table, make sure that the things are contacting with the arm and the squishiness of the hand, and how the objects when they're getting pushed by the hand are reacting. So everything has to go hand in hand because it's all about the believability. So make sure that your environment, anything, even if I'm in this chair talking, I should make sure that this chair is a bit, there should be a little bit of movement in the chair because I'm the most like the heavy person on this chair, right? So I am actually causing the chair to move. So there is an um interrelated move happening. So um yeah. So anything, environment, your objects around you has to react. Make all the components work together, and strengthen the weight. Weight is very important. You don't want to look this character look like a feather. So make sure where the weight is. If the character has a heavy head, then the the whole the weight will be on the head. But usually, according to the human, we don't have weight here. We do have our weight on our root and in our legs. So make sure that you're carrying, like strengthening that weight. So if let's say there's a sit to stand assignment, and make sure where the weight is falling, and in the polishing stage you're actually pushing that furthermore to make it more believable. Yeah, most important thing, make the character feel more organic. And the emotional polish is make sure like make it more like feel looser, like don't tense anything. If there is something like the flow is important, at the same time it has to be believable, like make it more loosen. Like if it's loose, it's loose. If it's like he's angry, then it's like tense. So like kind of push that tension even more in the polishing stage. So that's like emotional. So whether that person is happy, sad, anything that like make it push that furthermore, and putting in the last level of details to the animation to help and support the emotional idea. If the character is happy, make the character push the expression even more further. Polishing step by step. So polish in phrases, polish from root out to the main controller, or like for example, if your main controller is a root, then root up or root down. Or if your main controller was head, let's say like for our like head turn, then our main controller was head. So make sure that you kind of work your way down. So first polish your head, then move on to your neck, then move on to your torso, then eyebrows, lashes or eyes, and then follow the list. So these are the lists that when you are polishing, make sure that your arcs are proper. And did I miss something there? And the body movements, contacts, stretch and squash, breathing, micro accents. Like for example, like if the person is angry and there's a twitch in the eye, make sure you add that. That's in the polish stage. You don't want to add that in the beginning of the blocking because you're just gonna overwhelm with a lot of things. Because for example, if you're kind of So the reason why I said work your way up from the bigger move to the smaller move is when he's angry in your polishing stage, you're trying to push that anger more, then your twitching in the eye, like when you move your head keys, then your twitching animation in the eye, you have to move that too. And doing that, doing moving the head here and there, you have to concentrate again on the eye. So that's like a too much of work. You kind of like making your work easier and simplifying the moves so that you don't have to get confused on the later stages. So the twitching, any kind of like accents, like smears, stuff like that, like add in the end, and add some dirt because you don't want anything to look too mushy, too smooth, or too perfect, because then it's not believable. It's you don't connect with the character. So look at the real action, like how people do in real life, and try to add that dirt a little bit into your character. Motion blur and make the progression natural. So whether that's from like if you're doing an acting shot and if you're going from an angry to sad, have the progression very natural rather than having it like a jump or like what just happened, why did the character jump from there to there. So that natural, and aim for connectivity when polishing, and don't just squash for the sake of squash. Make sure that why that squash is happening to characters. So this is the list. You take down the notes or take a screenshot of this, but if you're going into a polishing stage, all the advanced animators, Sean, so make this list because you guys are already halfway there with your animation. It's looking great, it's looking good, and make it great by following this list. And yeah, your animation to the next level. I can either go polishing on this one or maybe just show like one hand reacting to a prop and what do I do in the polish stage. So we can see what we can do, but that's my small notes for the polish. So we can jump onto the shot again, and I wouldn't say I'm jumping into polish, but I still want to make sure everything is working, and you're welcome, Sean. I hope you can take this and like push your shot to really polished level. You're welcome, Taryn. I'm gonna go ahead. I didn't like the fingers how they are closing. Oh. Sure, only select. I feel so tired. See, this is like a good example where like the character is kind of squashing like before that big anticipation, like when she's expanding, right? Like she's kind of like coming all together to do that big move. So when that's happening, my fingers, the time, like it's happening later, so it's like kind of not flowing in. That move supposed to happen way earlier here, so we're just gonna work with that. And the offsetting, oh yeah, one more. Let's put it there. Offsetting can be also a polish. Offset. But like you already do the offset in your IP stage, like in work in progress stage, but make sure that little bit offset is there. Like for example, if I'm doing these fingers, when I open them, I make sure that first 2, 3 are like these two are moving first, and then this offset's like 1 frame, 1 frame, 1 frame. So like there's like more believable opening rather than just all together opening. Like I don't think if that can happen too. Naturally, when you open, like this follows later because this is the first one that's closest opens first. This opens faster, and this is like taking a little bit of time. So you want that believability in your animation. Spectra, very cool to see CG Spec live stream with character. JD Smith. Thanks, JD. Is this your first time? You are you like a animator or would you say illustrator? Because your your username says digital artist, so I believe that you are a digital artist. Do you build the 3D models and rig? No, I didn't build this. I didn't model this. This is a free rig called Amy. Yeah, Amy rig. It's online, and no, it's actually it's not free rig. I'm sorry. I think it's like $50. $50. So, this is, I think CG Spectrum has bought this rig, and they have the rights to use this, I guess. So I'm just using behalf of. But I don't build my models and rigs, but I do mod them. Yeah. Right. Wait a second. Did I just? No. So when that's with the body, we want a close. So we're going to move okay. And then you move this. The timing. Timing is very important. Wait a second. That's the close. That looks incredible. Thanks, Taryn. Hi, yes, I do animate in Maya, and I'm always trying to learn other tricks and tips. See the question for regarding constraints. What are your thoughts about constraining multiple objects to your character hand? Do you like to constrain objects in control? If it's multiple objects, do you prefer constrain them to the same control? If it's like multiple objects in the sense you have 4 pens in your hand, then I would actually make a global control for all those 4 pens to my hand. And then I have individual controllers for the pens. So I make sure that the global control of the pen, let me see. Okay, I have 2 for now, but if we have 2, I will make sure there's a global control for both. So when you hold the control, these two pens are moving. And then my hand control and the global control, I constrain it. And then I make sure that these 2 individually are able to move and animate as well. So these 2 get constrained and I go ahead and animate this. So when I move my hand around, I make sure that these 2 are moving too. So I don't know if I answered your question. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong in constraining multiple objects. It depends on what kind of animation you're doing, but it is possible. But make sure that you're simplifying your constraints, because constraints are a pain in the butt and you don't want to complicate it further. So make sure that you're simplifying it, and yeah, so you have a control over your own objects. And that's cool that you're an animator. Are you an advanced animator, or you're just started learning animation? And are you from CG Spectrum, JD? You're off today. See you on Tuesday. Bye, Mike. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you on Tuesday in class. Gabriel. Hey Spectra. Hi, Gabriel. Which type of animation shots do you recommend to have in the reel for the future film junior animator? Yes, I think I did talk about this on my first stream. If not, I will say it again, because that's my favorite topic. Because it's always good to know what are the shots to put on your demo reel. That's a key thing to actually get your foot in the industry. So 1, 2-person dialogue, 2, 1-person dialogue, and 3, have a pantomime shot. Either that is parkour, like without dialogue, so like, or any physical, or even like, I don't know, something crazy, that because when you do a dialogue, you're not going too broader moves like as a parkour, because you, while doing parkour, nobody talks, I guess, because then you're gonna miss everything. So usually when you're selecting a shot, you do want the character to be doing something, or like more like an interactive mode, so that people can focus on how are you pushing your facial animation. So you're kind of like showing the recruiters, yeah, this is my skill, I can push the facial animation, I can do many things. So in that sense, you're not showing your physicality of your character, like what can you do with the like physical shots, right? Like parkour, jump, or fight scenes. You cannot show that in the dialogue. So that's why you need to have at least these 3 major things on your reel, so you are actually portraying all your skills on your demo reel for the recruiter. Yeah, a 2-person dialogue, 1-person dialogue, and a pantomime shot. So, and 2-person dialogue is good because it's for the interaction purpose, and 1-person dialogue shows that if there's no characters around, it shows your ability to, how can you give that subtle acting nuances to your character. And 3 is go crazy with your pantomime stuff, anything that is over the board. Yeah, you're welcome, Gabriel. JD, awesome to hear it. Thank you. Yes, you are answering it. But I guess for the pens, global control, is that something as simple as a null or a group? Or are you adding an actual NURB controller for both pens to make the global control? That's a good question. Sometimes I do a group, and sometimes I do add a locator. I think it is this one. So I select the pen and the hand and I make a locator, and so that's being my global control. So I constrain that to the locator. So the locator being my global control. So, or you could do a group, whatever feels right, but I actually would do this route. I have a question about moving hold. Do you animators use it often? Use moving hold a result of conscious choice or a natural outcome of animating a character? Which means this one, right? Like, she is going from the pose and she's like holding that pose, like, and still she's kind of moving, but she's holding that pose for a pretty long time here. So I guess that's what you're asking. So that is natural outcome for an animator to do, I can say, but actually that's more believable because you do need to have a keep alive on the characters when they hold. And the main reason why we have to hold a pose is, first, for the pose to read. Two, you don't want things to be moving constantly on the screen because then there is no phrasing of the animation or phrasing of the acting. And then two, you're not letting the character breathe. If anybody is moving in front of you like constantly, you would want to slap them because it's too much for your eye to be like registering what the hell is that person doing. So like there, if you have those moving holds, it's good. It gives the character to breathe and your eye to breathe. Okay. I have only been animating for 3.5 years. I had Scott Klaus as an instructor in the past. I love this channel because of getting to watch other process tips and workflows. That's cool. Yeah, all the mentors on CG Spectrum are amazing. And it's great that they're doing all these streams because it's a best way to see all the other mentors' workflow. So yeah, we're happy to share all our tips and tricks and workflow. You're welcome, Gabriel. Thanks, Sharon. You're welcome. All right, it's 7:22. We are almost half an hour away from ending the stream and I got nowhere. But I'm happy to answer questions. I would actually rather answer all your doubts because that's why the stream is about, because I can always do the shot off stream and record that and I will upload it on my channel. So if you guys want to take that as a reference, you can go onto my YouTube or Twitch page and take that as a reference. But this stream is all about the interactions, so throw at me more questions and I can answer, and more than happy to help you guys. It'll be fun when we can see more of the advanced animators demo reel shots. So I'm always fascinated about to see like because you're pretty much like creating your own world and the character, the behind story of the character, why the character is in your shot, what is so okay, I want the fingers to close. They're still not closing. What's happening? Oh, happening. close it more. Since we already posed it here, I want to clench it a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do that. See, this control has only such limitations that you... Did I break the rig? This is kind of important how the characters are posed. You don't want them to look too rigid. I don't like this caching. There you go. I feel like the hand is broken because it's not flowing, because our wrists, if they're like that, it's like broken. So I am going and kind of having that flow more natural. All about the baby. That's right. This character doesn't have appealing fingers, so we do such this, but we'll see how far we can get. Maybe how about we just push it in? The intersection, that's okay, because if it's not showing in your shot, for example, like in your camera, that's okay. You can kind of cheat it. Oop. Like that. But that's broken again. Sure that it's going properly. So the rig always breaks us. Yes, Sean. It's always hard to find good rigs, but yeah, that's why like 2D animation, you have so much control on that. You just draw what you want. 3D, you gotta go by what the character is making. Thanks, Stu. Check your curves. RZ. I don't like the silhouette because it's all mushed out. Because mainly, if you go on here, this is a good way to. What am I doing? This is a good way to check your silhouettes. Hit 7 on your keyboard. You're on the viewport or a camera. I mean, sometimes like if there's like the here we can't do much, right? But still, like if you can, for example, move this that way, in your silhouette, it's more cleaner. You know what's going on, like most of the part, but there are some times where things can overlap. But this is not the main problem here. This one, when you have your hand posed here, if it's like all mushed out, then you really don't know what's happening here. But sometimes it's good to a lot of control in 2D. Yeah, Sean. There's I would just put that key. We can do that in the polish, intersections and stuff, but I would still close the fist here. So go ahead and hit 7 on your keyboard. When you're here, just hit 7, it'll go into silhouette. Yeah, because you're kind of killing out the lighting, my default light. And the 6 is for the textures, 5 is for the grayscale, 4 is for the wireframe. 1, 2, 3, I don't know. They don't do much. But you see, things changes here. Hit 6, 5, 4, 7. When you're in the texture mode, then hit 7. If you're in the wire mode, nothing happens. So you need to at least be in grayscale mode or texture mode, then the 7 silhouette one would work. comes to see, when we don't lock these two, we are so tempted to move this to make that silhouette good look. But then you're kind of breaking your humanoid features of the character. You're like kind of breaking the principle, right? So then you go ahead and see, good work. Not. In our 2D, hey Tiffany! Thanks for stopping by. Tinkle is another pro animator in the industry, and we both work together. Yeah. We worked, me and Tinkle worked on Uncharted together. Don't tell me what to do. You're welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions because we have 2 industry people already watching the stream. So if there is something that I don't answer, or if like my take on things could be different from Tinkle or Stuart, so yeah, or any other industry people that are actually watching, they could be answering that too. Yeah, this is actually I'm doing with the CG Spectrum Tinkle, that my thumb. So this is actually like a lot of animation industry people. I mean, like students on this stream. Usually, like sometimes I do it for just fun on the side. So, but today is, yeah, a lot of students that are trying to get their demo reel, intro to animation, advanced animation. Yes, I am simultaneously streaming on Twitch, YouTube, on their server, on my server, everywhere. I see. It should actually put restraint all over. Interesting. Yeah, Stuart can see you. You animate the arms in FK. I almost exclusively animate them in IK. Why is that, Stu? Well, because here the character is not holding any props. I think that will be so much easier for it to animate in FK. Because yeah, IK is a pain in the butt. Like if you're gonna animate something, you don't get that flow. You just have to go frame by frame by frame. That's more painful. But if you do it in FK, it gives you more it's more flexible and you have more control over how you want your arcs to flow. Yeah, unless your character is interacting with some kind of table or a glass or something else, then that's when you do an IK. But yeah, don't use IK when you're doing just normal moves, a simple move. Okay, let's see what are the other big moves we can. Got a camera. I don't like how it is posed. Go ahead. Yeah, sure. No worries, Tinkle. Tiffany, you can definitely share the link. I don't mind. It seems like another dimension. Yeah, it's like a loop in a loop in a loop. I'm actually streaming everywhere, so at the same time, on YouTube, Facebook, and on CG Spectrum's YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all at the same time. I find it easier to create arcs with IK. I don't think so. I mean, I would actually throw this to Tiffany. Do you find it easy to animate in IK, or do you find it easy animating in FK? I usually animate IK when I'm interacting things. Holding a table and getting up, holding a glass or something, that's when I need an IK, but if not, FK is always the best for me. Okay, let me just go ahead and like kind of close the fist. I don't like how they're all... Can you guys hear the music or is it too low? What did you... Your messages are being checked by mods? What did you send, Sean? I'm sorry, like maybe like So Jeremy, this is CG Spectrum's live, right? So probably they could have put some mods that could be filtering stuff, but if there is something that has been checked out, you didn't swear. I believe you. I'm sure that nobody on this stream, at least I know, like, they're pretty decent people. So I'm sure nobody's sweared, but I'm not sure. Did you like say things over? Like last time I think someone got automod thing is happening for me too. Why is that? Why is that? Um Okay, I'm gonna say hide comment chat mods filter off. We'll see if that can help. I see. I see. Looks like it. Right. Right. Okay. I kept trying to mention FK. Oh, right. Yes. So you do FK, Tiff. So you're pretty much like me. The most movements, especially during the blocking phase, usually start in FK. At some jobs, they have tools that allow you to also bake your FK animation to IK and vice versa. That's true. Yeah, that's what happens at my job at the moment. I can bake them to be either FK or IK, so you have the control. But if you're starting off and using free rigs or paid rigs and stuff, keep it more simple. Just keep that in mind that FK is used to make the most moves, especially during the blocking phase. Oh, yeah. So, to block out, usually like FK is easier because you can move things easily. And I try to, for example, let's say the hand is going like that, right? So, no, from here, I'm kind of putting it down. So when I do that, if you do your IK, you're like keeping it very linear because you're only moving this and rest everything is following. And then you have to adjust your elbow according to your IK. But if you're doing it in FK, you can actually animate just one controller and then copy that the RZ to your RZ of the forearm and then the wrist, and you just offset it. So you are pretty much like getting that more offset and flow animation, which kind of helps because if you're doing it in IK, then you're kind of always compensating your elbow to move it in a way. So, but yeah, at least in the industry, we have the control. We can bake things and move things around. The fast get a lot more movement for free with FK. That's true. IK is when you want to get really specific. That's absolutely true. And two, for the interactions. IK is really good when you hold a cup, when you push a wall, push a table, push anything. You want that because at that point, if you're doing an FK, when let's say I'm pushing, this is a wall and I'm pushing this, if it's not in IK, then you're not you're not getting that contact because then if you move your arm, this thing moves too in FK. So that's when the IK comes handy, is because you plant and then you can just like fixate that they're either like constraining or fixing that shot over there, and then you can just move your elbow. So yeah, organic movement for free. Totally, I totally agree with Tiffany. John, I was gonna say I started doing FK for gestures a lot. I had a habit of doing IK. Oh man, I think we should just switch off all the mods. IK as well, but I got reminded not to do that during my Method Studio portfolio review. Difference is real after I corrected it. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, so every studio works a different way because we are in the game. I'm in the game, and Tiffany is in the game side too. We have there is like a tool where you can kind of bake down and kind of imitate your IK being the FK, FK being the IK. But if you're doing um um mm, 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 mm. Yeah, like Sean said, some of the like the method studios would want it in. Okay, I didn't think of that. That's true. Yay! Try that out too. I think you'll make your life much more easier by doing FKs because then you're not counter animating or compensating anything all the time, like tweaking. So it'll come handy. Use your FK for the legs when a character walks or runs. Nope, absolutely not. So think of IKs as plant. Wherever you want the character to plant a hand, like plant on something, like feet on the ground, because your legs are pretty much carrying your whole body, right? So you want them in IK because when you do the contacts, you want them to be planted. You don't want them to be sliding. So you use your FK when you're doing like a jump or like a not even a jump, like let's say a parkour or something where you want to do first the contacts and then you do your FKs, like when he's swinging on a rope or something like gymnastics or stuff like that, then you use your FKs. But when he's walking and runs, no, you definitely want to use IK. Apart from box cycles, I think used IK. Wait. You're welcome. Yeah, I wish I can say that's like a preference, but it's more like something that is more if let's say you can use right hand to right and left hand to right, like it could be like which way you are good at, right? But FK and IK thing is like it's kind of like a little bit of a common sense where like if you want things to be more planted and stuff, then it's kind of common sense to, or like it's more convenient, that's the word, to use a good example of a game that would love FK legs would be, yes, absolutely, Spider-Man FK, because he's constantly flying in the air. Always in the end need physics like pendulum, like animation. That's a good point. Yes. There you go. Spider-Man, you use FK. Unless he's kind of web walking the the walls. Thanks, Tiffany. Okay, what are the other big moves that we can do before we jump into gritty stuff? Yeah, these streams are pretty awesome because like everybody has their different way. It's tips and tricks and workflows, right? Some we can sit and argue for hours, and some we can like be like, that's true. Like if you do that, that's actually way more easier than this. That makes more sense. So It's a good way to like connect the community together and all the animators. I like it. Yeah, so what I did is like last time I went and added in the root because even though you don't see the root, you do want that believability that the character is holding a weight and shifting and moving forward. Because if you don't do that, then this torso would look like a sticky, like stick in one space and just like kind of pivoting like a doll. So I did give that. I gave that like off stream when I was working. So let's go check our torso because I think we can push a little bit. Hold up. So, okay, the other way, I think someone asked last stream how to make like so there is a way. So some characters have pickers. You can pick things. That's more handy, like faster. And sometimes you can make some hotkeys. Like you can shelf things. Is for example, I wanted to select all my fingers for my right arm, not the wrist. So what I'm gonna do is I'll go ahead and select all that, Mel, and then I say save it to shelf. Save script to the shelf. Right. Mel. That's Mel. Yeah. So now what happens is when you hold that, you don't have to go ahead and like constantly all the time selecting that. So you can like have that as handy. Which way now we can move things around. So I think that's something someone asked me last stream and I totally forgot. So you can make things more easier. And there's another thing where you can select all the controllers and have a hotkey to toggle between on and off. So you can just hit that hotkey and you don't have to constantly go and like show curves and no curves, which I didn't set up because as I said, I don't use this a lot, but I can show that next week. And there is some scripts for amping and deamping the curves as well. Actually, I didn't know that. Like when I went to when I was at the Pixar internship, that's when the person who as a student, I used to use a lot of scripts to make my animation workflow faster. Because if you're gonna sit and move things around like slowly, then let's say you're finishing the shot in 20 minutes, that would actually take 30 or maybe like more than 30 minutes because when you don't have things shortcuts or hotkeys around. So to make that more efficient and more faster, you use them. So I used to use a lot as a student. And of course, when you get into the industry, they have their own. So you make your own, or you can use theirs, their proprietary tools. But the fun fact is the tools that I was using, the person who made those tools, he's actually from my school. And then he is like the technical animator at Pixar. So he actually created all the scripts, which I didn't know. I was like, he was coming and helping us when we were at the internship, like saying, oh, these are like some other new things I worked on. And I was like, hey, I used to actually use these scripts. And I was showing him his own script to him, saying that these are the ones I used to use. I mean, of course, I could read his name, but I was like, that's so cool that he made those and I get to meet him in person at the internship. So, yeah, that's something cool story. But. I don't like this arm, how it's coming back. It's kind of jerking, so... Spectra, I wanted to ask a similar topic, but is speed animating useful? I mean, it is, because you get to do shot faster compared to others. Yes. I mean, it's all depends on your style, right? I am a very straight-head animator. I put in a lot of dirt, like a lot of keys, and I keep going and like clearing them according to like, oh, like I just like kind of like a puppet. I go and like pose all the things, and then I go ahead and I know the RZ, RYs. I have to go and like kind of clean out the curve. So that's like my dirty way of working, but I'm like super fast with that. But there are people that pose the character really clean, and then they add the in-betweens, and then when they render, no, when they go from a step mode, let me show what I'm talking about. So they do it in the step mode, right? So they hold a pose and hold a pose and all the poses, and then make sure everything is posed out, and then they change it into the spline mode, and everything looks so mushy, but then they kind of get their way around to work things. But that takes a little longer compared to straight ahead animation. That's my way, is I add the dirt and I start cleaning while adding in. So in that way, I'm much faster. So to answer that question, is speed animating useful? I would say yes. Because one, you're kind of saving the money for the company, because the more the time you take to finish the animation, the more expensive the shot gets. So if you can finish the animation sooner, then you're actually cutting down the production cost. And I guess you get promoted easily higher, because they kind of see the thing that, yeah, he's able to like get that shot done much quicker to another experienced animator. So that would actually come in a plus for you. You're welcome. JD, thank you for the stream. I gotta hop off. I think it's about to end soon anyway. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Thanks for reminding. It's already 8. I gotta end the stream. Looking for the next one. Bye, JD. Thanks for stopping by. On that note, actually, I'm supposed to end this because it's already been 2 hours into the stream. But I'm sorry. I think I made the notes that I will be testing out another rig and stuff like that, but I couldn't do any of those. So yeah, whatever the checklist. At least we didn't jump into polish. Kind of we're doing. We did add in finger animation. We did talk about the importance of polish here for the people who have missed. So take a screenshot. And yeah, I will try to continue this. We'll try to finish it, polish it, and we can jump on to maybe like testing out this Elsa free rig. I'm not a big fan of Frozen, but still I'm gonna check the rig because I heard good things about the rig, so why not? Thank you. Thanks, guys. You're welcome, Stu. You're welcome, Taryn. Big gulp, big glob. Nice to see you. You were so quiet. Welcome back. All right. You're welcome, Tinkle. You learn so much. All right, so on that note, I will be ending. Thanks for staying. If you're an animator, if you're not, I really appreciate your time, and I hope you take something away from this stream, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a great night and a weekend, and see you. Bye-bye.